Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about Lightning Arrow Ranger. I want to share some of my thoughts, opinions. I want to talk about the build, showcase some stuff. So if you are starting to play the build, maybe there are some informations you might find useful. So I have been following Fabgun, the streamer. Maybe you have been following him as well. But you're wondering why does your gameplay feels bad, or you are not doing what he's doing and what's going on. So I have invested reasonable amount of hours in the build, and I'm going to go over my setup. It's quite some divines. I will showcase the clear. First of all, should you even play this build, this Lightning Arrow Deadeye Ranger? Well, the build is strong, but it's not overpowered, and I don't think it's some sort of god-given build. It's very squishy and it requires a lot of time and effort and investment for it to feel good. You can have really rough time because it's so squishy. You will die a lot, and in this game if you die a lot, then it's a spiraling effect into nothingness. So in terms of my build, this is around 10 divine bow with 432 DPS and additional arrow. You want physical damage and lightning damage or cold damage. So physical, cold, lightning. This is a physical lightning bow. You do not want fire damage. Try to avoid fire damage. You don't have fire penetration. You're not scaling fire damage. You're not doing fire damage. So try to filter the bows without fire damage. The fire damage is artificially increasing this number and you are not using it. Also, you may have mana struggles. So I do have mana on kill. You have to have some sort of mana on kill. So if you do not have mana on kill on bow or mana on kill on quiver, you absolutely need something like this. This is recover 2% of mana on kill, and that will solve your mana issues, as well as having raw mana on items like I do have here on the boots. So this is around 10 divines for 430 DPS without fire. So this also I did pay 10 divines for this quiver. Ideally you want fire, physical and cold damage. You do not want fire damage. Also you want damage with bow skills. The most important stuff on this quiver is +2 to level of all projected skills. This is a must, because in conjunctions with the jewels, can go quickly over to jewels. In conjunctions with these kind of jewels, the last line, 4 affix, 10% increased bonuses gained from equipped quiver. So I do have bonuses gained from equipped quiver on every single jewel I have, so you can see here. Also you want damage on this, so this has elemental damage, damage with bows, gain bonuses from equipped quiver, and 2 random affixes. This one is fine as well. It doesn't have increased bonuses from equipped quiver, but it does have attack speed, projectile damage, herald damage. There is a good Fabguns video about jewel search. This is the Atlas tree, passive tree. I will come back later to it. But the bonuses gained from equipped quiver are affecting the +2 level of all projected skills. So I do have 24, so lightning arrow is level 24 instead of 20, because I get actually 4 levels of projectile skills because of the jewels. This is I did pay 3 divines for this amulet. It has a bunch of rarity on it. I do have around 182 spirit. The rings are a couple of divines each. So this is a mana, maximum life, intelligence, cold damage. You want to have damage on the rings, cold damage, and here I have cold and lightning damage. Why does your build feel like shit? Because you are doing low damage, you are not freezing, you do not have enough cold damage. So when you start, you want to have cold damage on your bow, on your rings. You can maybe even use some uniques, some cheap uniques with cold damage or cold build-up, or that ring when you shatter, unique ring when you shatter the enemy, it counts like, I mean, when you chill the enemy, it counts like the enemy is frozen. So a couple of divines in the rings. This was a 2 divine body armor, triple resistance, spirit, maximum life. This is a pretty cheap helmet, but this was, I think, 100 exalted because it's max roll on the rarity and max roll on the last mode. Maximum life is extra, maximum energy shield. Because the build is squishy, I do recommend this one. I am using Fabgun's tanky version of the build, so I'm starting up here so that I can have Essence of the Mountain, and then I can have Essence of the Storm, and I can pick up some energy shield nodes. We'll come to that later. Headhunter, then gloves. Again, if you do not have these gloves, try to search for the gloves that has the most amount of cold damage. But these gloves are now pretty, well, I think they are 2 to 3 divines. They were much more expensive when I bought them, but they are really strong. Rarity on the boots, movement speed on the boots, life, mana on the boots. So this is pretty much it with the gear. So recover, 30% recovery applied instantly, and this is just some mana flask. It has decent amount of mana return, but I do not have mana problems when I kill stuff, so because of the mana on kill on the bow and mana on kill on the quiver. But before that I was using the jewel. So that's about the gear. So what you can do as a lobby, this was my bow before this one. I had this bow. This bow has fire damage on it, but it also has cold damage and attack speed and physical damage. This was 360 overall DPS. You do want the highest DPS bow you can get, but how much? Now the question is, how much cold damage do you need? I'll show you the jewels and how much I have the cold damage. So on lightning arrow I do have this much cold damage and it feels good. I'm freezing, I'm shattering, I'm killing, so this feels good to me. But as you see, the lightning arrow does the most lightning damage. So in conjunction with this lightning rod, it's actually worth it. I wouldn't recommend taking this lightning rod if your lightning damage is poor. But this build is doing all sorts of conversions. So lightning arrow is converting some portion of the physical damage to lightning damage. And then you have the heralds. The heralds of thunder with this setup is converting the lightning damage to cold damage, and Herald of Ice is actually converting cold damage to lightning damage. So Herald of Ice with this setup, which is a Fabgun setup, is shocking, and Herald of Thunder is freezing. I'll go now over each jewel I have. So Custom Shock is only for bosses, it's not for clear. This is a Blink, Lightning Arrow, Lightning Rod, Herald of Thunder, Herald of Ice, Orb of Storms. I am missing one link here. Wind Dancer and Grim Feast. Grim Feast is what's giving you insane overshield. So when I'm running maps, I have about 2.5k energy shield in conjunction with my 1.6k life, and I do have 990 mana. The DPS is this, but when of course I'm firing spells and stacking Tailwind, this is my real DPS. The DPS on a Herald is important. Also you want the highest level jewels. So this is level 20 jewel, 20 jewel, 20 jewel and 20 jewel. So these jewels are around 5 divine each, level 20, but these jewels, the uncut skill gems, are around 1 divine, and you should absolutely get them. It will give you a lot more damage. So that's the setup. Now that's for the clear. For the bosses, you will have mana issues. So you have to have this Thief Torment Emerald Ring, which is compromising your defenses, but it's needed. Of course, you want to be resistance capped. Sadly, I'm missing one lightning resistance, but when they introduce rune swapping, I will solve that then. But if I was to go and kill the boss, I would equip the ring, which will make the other one useless. Then I would swap primal armaments here in the lightning rod, which will boost the damage on the lightning rod, and I would turn off the blink and turn on the custom shock. Then I would just put the Orb of Storms, and I would spam lightning rod on the Orb of Storms. And because you're getting 15 mana per enemy hit when you're hitting the boss, you won't go but you will go if you're not hitting. So for the clear, I would just revert back, and for the clear I'm just spamming lightning arrows. I'm not even spamming lightning rod. If there is specially strong elite, I will use lightning rod, but I'm just spamming, going and spamming lightning arrow and blinking. That's pretty much it. Using mana flask when if I need it. I do recommend Omen of Resurgence. It's cheap Omen for like 7 exalteds that may help you survive something. It won't stop one shots. Well, that's pretty much it in terms of the gear. So what can you do to run? I've been running bridge mechanics. Here is my Atlas, which is also Fabgun's Atlas, and I've been running breaches. Here is the boss Atlas. I haven't killed the last boss. So of course, what you want to do, you want to find a place on the Atlas which has the... okay, it doesn't work. You have to find a place on the Atlas which has a lot of towers. Then you put the precursors in the towers, which has ideally breach and quantity of items found. So you do want quantity, you do want number of rare monsters on the map, and of course you want rarity. I do have around 135, so 135% rarity on monster killed, which is fine. I feel this is fine. I'm dropping divines, and when I'm running a map which has a rarity as a mod on it. That's, I think it's fine. One thing to avoid before I showcase the gameplay, I would want to avoid the maps. You would think this is a good map because it has quantity and rarity, and you want quantity, you want number of rare monsters. Rarity is always fine, but it has diminishing returns on it. But when you look at third affix from below, so a suffix, monsters has 98% increase ailment threshold. So ailment threshold. This is really painful to run because the monsters are kinda immune. I mean, they are not immune, but it takes much longer to shock them and to shatter them, and it's painful to run this map. It basically feels like you've turned off both of the heralds. It's that bad. So maybe if you're having a rough time, you are running maps with increased ailment thresholds. So if I accidentally go in this kind of map, I would just instantly leave it because it's so painful. Also, in terms of the heralds, it's kinda difficult to explain what's happening, but when you have the right setup, your one lightning arrow shot, so this one, will instantly freeze, shock, shatter and kill, and then you will have these chain reactions of freezing and exploding and so on and so forth. So you do need cold damage enough to reliably freeze, but as you see, I think I have more lightning damage overall than I have cold damage. One more important thing is how do I get the cold damage as I have? Well, I am running the jewel. I'm running the Against the Darkness, Time Lost Diamond with notable passive skills in radius. Also gain 3% of damage as extra cold damage, which is affecting these large nodes that have these extra affix. So that's how I'm solving my cold freezing issues. Of course, you can try to use maybe some cheap uniques with cold damage and freeze and so on. But this is the Atlas. Basically, only thing different here than a Fobgun's tanky build is I am running this bow. I do like extra pierce on the target, and I do like the damage it's providing me. I'm level 93, and in the future I'll take more of defensives. I am running with the jewel, with the amulet annotation for, this is a cheap annotation, energy shield and intelligence, but I do have quite a lot of intelligence because I'm running Hand of Wisdom and Action. I'm stacking as well a lot of intelligence, and I'm meeting my dexterity requirements, so I do have excess of lightning damage because of the high intelligence, which is also something. Okay, so let me showcase you the map. I will run this map. This is a level tier 15 map with rarity and number of rare monsters. Ideally I would want quantity, but I have what I have. Also this, I don't know what kind of layout is. If you're running bridge, you want open map, like Oasis, Savannah or something like that. You don't want narrow map. I don't remember what this map is, but this kinda zone is over. I have to path to a different zone. I will probably path here because I see some towers here. But this is what I have. It has 44 increased quantity of items found in this map because each of these towers has a precursor on it with quantity and rarity and bridge stuff. So let's see how this will pan out. And it also has a boss, so I'll just shut up and play the map. Okay, so the map is now completed. I will just return and load the map, maybe finish, maybe search if there is one extra bridge and do it, but this is pretty much it. What I wanted to showcase. If you have any questions, leave them in comments. Also, as I said, I'll be mostly following Fabgun, so you can check his YouTube and his mob analytics, his advices. This was just my commentary over and thoughts about the build. Anyways, see ya later.